It happened in an instant. A gust of wind rushed down the Parisian street, rattling the golden Dior decorations, and someone gasped so loudly it cut through the noise like a blade. People turned. Cameras paused mid-click. Conversations died mid-sentence. They weren't reacting to the decor, or the models, or the celebrities already posing. They were reacting to a silhouette slowly stepping into the light. It was Jimin. The entrance wasn't loud. There was no big announcement. But everyone felt it, a quiet storm sweeping through the venue. His posture straight, his gaze calm, dressed in Dior's classic yet daring concept. Black fitted tailoring hugging his form, subtle textures reflecting the spotlight like ripples on a dark lake. Paris Fashion Week had seen elegance, but never this kind. Photographers scrambled forward. The clicking became chaotic, almost panicked. It wasn't just to take a picture, it was to capture a feeling before it escaped. That feeling was aura. According to Inclusive data, Paris Fashion Week was already dominating online, earning 8 times more mentions than New York Fashion Week and 4 times more than Milan. But numbers couldn't explain what was happening in this exact moment. Jimin alone accounted for 17.06% of every single online conversation about celebrities in attendance. Think about that. Among hundreds of names, dozens of brands, world-famous icons, almost 1 out of 5 voices spoke his name. Why? Because Jimin didn't need to fight for attention. Attention simply followed him. He stepped into the photo zone, bathed in shimmering gold Dior light. His expression? Soft, almost gentle, like he didn't realize he was controlling the room. Fans outside screamed as if witnessing history. Their voices quivered, hands shaking, phones raised so high, shoulders trembled. Even seasoned journalists whispered to each other, exchanging knowing looks, like they were witnessing the birth of a legend. And then, fate delivered the moment that would make the internet explode. As Jimin posed elegantly, a photographer behind him was captured in one shot, eyes stretched wide, lips parted slightly, in pure shock. It wasn't planned. It wasn't intended. It was instinct. It was honest. His face perfectly summed up what every single person who saw Jimin felt. How can someone look this unreal? The photo flew across X. Within hours, more than 6.5 million views. Notifications poured in like rain. Artists seized it, turning Jimin into anime transformations, glowing Dragon Ball energy, dramatic Disney scenes, supernatural Guardian edits, even comedic action spoofs. Every post said the same thing. He looks like the main character. No, he looks like the final boss. Thousands of retweets, thousands of comments, thousands of laughs, screams, and heart emojis. The internet wasn't just entertained. It was enchanted. Fans commented, open quote, a presence even Dior didn't expect. That photographer's face says everything I feel. He didn't attend Fashion Week, he owned it. Close quote. Inside, something subtle was happening. Designers leaned in to whisper. Stylists nudged each other and pointed. Other celebrities glanced his way, hesitant smiles forming, eyes lingering a beat too long. The runway lights reflected in his eyes, but the truth was simple. Jimin became the light. Behind the scenes, staff members whispered in disbelief. One was overheard saying quietly, open quote, he is even more breathtaking in person, close quote. And when he walked, not rushed, not stiff, but gracefully aware of every step, the floor seemed to sync with his rhythm. His gentle smile melted the elegant tension of the luxury hall. It was charm with softness, confidence without arrogance. He didn't need power to impress. He needed presence. And Paris felt it. By the end of the night, media outlets scrambled to publish. Editors fought over photos. Headlines screamed his name across digital covers. This wasn't marketing. It wasn't strategy. It was emotion. He reminded the world that fashion isn't just fabric. It's feeling, storytelling, and soul. And for a moment, Paris became his page. As memes multiplied, his simple pose became the symbol of the entire Fashion Week season. People weren't just laughing, they were celebrating. They were bonded by one shared realization. Some people are just different. Not because they're trying to be, but because they simply are. Days later, the energy remains. Conversations continue. Hearts still flutter, remembering that stunned photographer. And millions replay that entrance, searching for the exact second when Paris, the city of lights, found one more star to orbit. Legend isn't a title someone gives you. It's a moment you create without realizing it. And Jimin? He created one the instant he stepped into golden Dior light.